last time someone said, "I told you so"? Now, when was the last time your internal gut said, "I told you so"? Feels very different, right? Merriam-Webster states that intuition is the ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning. It is a knowing, and you know your intuition is right when you hear it calling. You can't put numbers to it, you can't argue with it, and you can't reason with it. Now, think back to a time in your life when you've made a major decision, such as which college to attend. What was your decision based on? Was it logical and based on stats and reasoning? Or was it emotional and impulsive? Was it where your parents wanted you to go? Or was it based on intuition, a gravitational pull that just knows for some reason that this was the path designed for you? What was the impact of your decision? Such as, where did you settle afterwards, or maybe the major you selected? My decision, fortunately, was based on intuition. It was just an internal knowing. Now, sometimes your intuition can feel just slightly out of reach. A gut feeling can be difficult to recognize and relate to, like a Pandora's box. All of us have it, but not all of us know how to access it, and worst of all, well, it's always going to be changing. But it's the very thing that guides us in the large milestone decisions of our lives. So what does it feel like to actually follow our intuition, or what I like to call this yellow brick road? Most of the times, it feels like meeting someone for the first time, and you know that you've encountered a lifelong friend. So what decisions have you made based on your intuition? On the flip side, how does it feel to know the intuitive answer to an issue that you're struggling with, but you don't follow it? Maybe you decide to make a logical or an emotional decision instead, and it can feel very disturbing, right? Because maybe you've tried to appease someone else, but you find yourself looking back, wishing that you follow that gut feeling. Or how about when you're indecisive? I know I can be indecisive. If you go with me to Sweet Cow, it could take me forever to order ice cream. And I know it can be a struggle to walk the tightrope between two alternative decisions. But if you just listen to that gut feeling, then that stress is largely mitigated. By the way, I always choose vanilla. So obviously, we know that it's best to follow our intuition on these large milestone paths of our lives. The trick is, how do we know our intuition is even speaking? And more importantly, how do we ever begin to trust it? So I'm starting to figure out that there's a direct correlation between our intuitive decisions and self-confidence, together linked by trust. So let's go into this just a little bit. It's a cyclical effect. So you pretty much start with gaining and building that self-confidence, which will in turn allow you to build the self-trust that it takes to follow the momentum, to follow your intuition. And when you just follow that gut feeling, then your self-confidence increases, and the cycle continues. So why don't we do this all the time? Well, it's because of fear. We all know false evidence appearing real, and will talk you out of any intuitive decision. So to get back on track, first of all, recognize fear for what it is, because it's largely something created in your head. And take the first step to regain that self-confidence. I know when I was asked to speak here tonight, I was elated, but then I was just hit. I was slammed by my own wall of fear. And if I didn't listen to my intuition, whispering me and telling me to give a speech on intuition, then I'm 99% sure that I would definitely not be here tonight. So obviously, there are going to be times to make a logical decision versus an intuitive one. I've made business decisions based on logic and reasoning, but I've left jobs based solely on intuition. So my one question for you tonight is, what's in your Pandora's box? Trusting your intuition is the exact same thing as trusting yourself. Otherwise, this is what you get. Told you so. Sincerely, your intuition. Thank you.